Congressman Keith Ellison is a black militant who has whitewashed his past in order to pass as a mainstream liberal politician. But there is nothing mainstream about Ellison. This presentation by Great Vocal Majority is based on news articles referenced on our YouTube channel. Now, we present the truth about Congressman Keith Ellison. Part 1. Nation of Islam, Anti-Semitism, and Cop Killers. In 1992, after the execution-style murder of a police officer by criminal street gang members, Ellison took the side of the murderers and accused the police of, quote, waging a campaign of slander, unquote, against the street gang. In 1995, at the University of Minnesota, Ellison stood on stage with Khalid Abdul Muhammad when he said, quote, if words were swords, the chests of Jews, gays, and whites would be pierced, unquote. Again in 1995, when the daughter of Malcolm X was indicted for conspiring to murder Louis Farrakhan, Ellison demanded her release, going so far as to accuse the FBI of conspiring to murder Farrakhan. In 2006, while running for Congress, Ellison was accused of being a member of the Nation of Islam. He denied the accusations with three counter-assertions. First, that he was only involved with the Nation of Islam for about a year and a half surrounding the Million Man March in 1995. Second, that he was unaware of the Nation of Islam's reputation for anti-Semitism. And third, that once he became aware of their anti-Semitism, he terminated his involvement. The local Minneapolis newspapers accepted his explanation without any investigation as to their veracity, but each was easily proven to be false. Oddly enough, all could be demonstrated as false by simply using newspaper accounts that documented Ellison's words and speeches during that time. While he was connected to the Nation of Islam, Ellison used at least three aliases over a period of 10 years, Keith Hakeem, Keith X. Ellison and Keith Ellison Muhammad. One newspaper has falsely reported that Ellison only used these aliases while in law school. Mr. Ellison was also known to have worked with the cop killer and gang leader, Sharif Willis in 1992. In 2000, Willis made a speech on behalf of domestic terrorist, Sarah Jane Olson, and also spoke in support of other cop killers, Mumia Abdul-Jamal and Esseda Shakur. In 1995, Ellison penned an opinion piece in the Minnesota Spokesman Recorder under the alias Keith X. Ellison in support of Louis Farrakhan. In 1997, Ellison penned another article in the Minnesota Spokesman Recorder. This time, under the alias Keith Ellison Muhammad. In this article, he was defending the anti-Semitic comments of Joanne Jackson, who referred to Jews as, quote, the most racist white people, unquote. Jackson made her comments while defending Louis Farrakhan against charges of racism. Remember, Mr. Ellison has repeatedly stated that he was not aware of the anti-Semitic bigotry in the Nation of Islam and their leader, Louis Farrakhan. But here are a couple newspaper opinion pieces, 2 years apart, where Ellison has defended both the Nation of Islam and Farrakhan from those exact charges. The truth is, Ellison is lying about being unaware of the antipathy Farrakhan held for Jewish people. Part 2. Lying about the past in order to run for Congress. As late as the year 2000, Ellison was still scouting the party line of the Nation of Islam. But he knew those past connections were toxic to his chances for securing the Democratic Party nomination for a vacant seat in Congress. The stains of his past needed to be laundered away. Ellison had enough friends in the local media to help him, but the Democrat Party affiliate, the DFL, or Democratic Farmers and Labor Party were not quite convinced. He needed to shed his pseudonyms and begin to distance himself from the Nation of Islam and other leftist militants. In 2006, when Ellison ran for the Democratic nomination for the 5th Congressional District of Minnesota, the DFL was not happy about Ellison's long record as an apologist for Louis Farrakhan, much less being a leader in the Nation of Islam. They knew it was likely to alienate many in the Democrat base, especially the Jewish community. According to Scott W. Johnson of the Weekly Standard, Ellison dealt with the problem of his past by submitting an extremely misleading letter to the Minnesota chapter of the Jewish Community Relations Council. In the letter, Ellison artfully minimized his involvement with the Nation of Islam while he nevertheless acknowledged his role working with local members of the Nation of Islam. Ellison stated in his letter, I have long since distanced myself from and rejected the Nation of Islam due to its propagation of bigoted and anti-Semitic ideas and statements as well as other issues. In mitigation he pleaded ignorance, claiming, I did not adequately scrutinize their positions and statements. A copy of the letter is included at the end of this presentation. In Ellison's own memoir called My Country, 'Tis of Thee, My Faith, My family, our future. He sanitizes his past with no mention at all of his adoption of the Nation of Islam or his later supposed rejection of it. Keith Ellison desperately wants to revise the history of his own life into something more palatable. But he cannot. Keith Ellison cannot escape his past. Nor can he escape his lies. Thanks for watching this presentation from the Great Vocal Majority. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel and leave a comment on this video. Thanks for watching.